For your consideration for Summer Games Done Quick, this is Edition, 80% category for the game Frogger 2 for the game Color. I am Glass. Presenting the run, the mission run. It'll be followed up in the video with a run that will be considered what I'd like to call an example of a run that was done this year, as well as a current world record. I'll include that without commentary. It's going to be the run itself, and that'll be able to be pretty self-explanatory. So, what I'm going to do to set up, you just want to reset the file that you were on before. The any percent category is a category that is very fast-paced, highly challenging, so it's one of those runs where I don't think I'd be doing much of the talking, and I'd be leaving much of the commentary to the other people willing to commentate the run, and I know a few people who would probably be willing to, if they could make the event, or be willing to join the online setting for such a case. So the reason I say so is because there's a lot of fast tricks I have to go through, and just a lot of making sure that I don't miss input during the run. That is something that will happen pretty frequently. So on top of that, with an any percent run of this, you'll want to be ready to incorporate strategic game overs, which will allow you to quickly and swiftly get back to where you were at beforehand, so that you can going without ruining the pace too much. And before I begin, I will explain at least one thing that was recently discovered and further expanded upon by a TAS creator by the name of Cool Kirby. Cool Kirby was able to find a bit of a little bug where there are certain tiles on the water of certain levels in World 1, which is Frog Pond, where you can just step on the water. Normally you step on the water, you die. The reason for that, although it's not fully fleshed out yet, is that the game doesn't know how to process you being on that specific tile, because it's on a tile where neither rows are scrolling. So normally when a water tile row is scrolling, it checks for if you're on that row and it just kills off Frogger. But in the case of these particular two tiles that you're going to see, yes, a mission run, it doesn't, and it just kind of says, okay, we'll let you live. The game is trying to take a life away from you, but it cannot due to number of tiles there are, being on an area where neither row is being scrolled or rendered for that matter, and so you're able to get away with such. And only two examples that you're going to see in the run. Whether I successfully pull off the tricks associated with these tiles is to be seen. 1-3 should be a shoo-in, although that's not always the case. Again, misinputting can happen. 1-1 is going to be a little bit less cut and dry. I will say that the first two worlds are very brutal, so having other commentators explain what's going on is going to make it much easier, so I can just focus on the run itself. I think explanations are going to probably result in me making a few mistakes, and I will talk about kind of what type of easy cycles can be incorporated, simply because certain cycles could be hit, and I might accidentally miss others, which could actually impact the total cycles that I get for almost every level of World 1. It won't be as less of a worry in World 2, 4, or 5 for that matter, but in 3 it could impact fish RNG. I won't go into much detail with that, but like depending on how much points you get or how fast you go through the game, the fish will swim out in certain, will hop out in certain directions. More of that example, any examples of that later. I guess one more thing before I begin the run is, before you start, you have a naming option here. This could be a voting incentive where people donate money to pick whatever name they want to be chosen for the game file. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, but it could just be provided so that people have something to donate towards. I'll just put up an example of something, or I'll just leave it blank. I'll just do it that way. Normally you press A to pick your characters. I accidentally picked start because I'm that way. So it's blank right now, but we can pick a name, any name. As long as it's under 8 characters, the character limit is 8. So that much to keep in mind. I guess another donation incentive if you really wanted to. Pick between Frogger or Lily Frog if you really want to. I guess that's something to keep in mind. There's not too much else to be said. I'll try to explain as best as I can each of the levels as I go, without making too many mistakes in this submission run. If I were to give an estimate for any percent, I would give it about 20 minutes, so we'll see how that rolls out. Started in 3, 1. Actually, I need to put the keyboard on the floor. Normally, I do it with a keyboard on my lap. It's a little bit easier that way. I could get a foot pedal in the future, but that's not for me to worry about. And in the marathon, it won't be any of a worry whatsoever. I'll just have to focus on the run and the run only. So let's get started. So the versatile is right here. I'm actually going to go for a safe strat right now, just so I can make it through the run quick enough. So immediately, one thing you might notice as I run through this game is there's a lot of rhythm that goes into the way that I move around. You'll see me moving in like triplets or moving in what I'd like to call the equivalent of 8 notes, depending on how you set tempo. Since I'm going at a really fast tempo, I consider them 8s. So here's the second water tile you'll be seeing. And yeah, it cuts the time by quite a bit there. A lot of fast tricks in general. And most of them are confined to World 1. That's where a lot of the nerfs come into play. And unfortunately, I did get unlucky. If I were to implement the cycle that I was going for on this one in particular, you'll want to be prepared to just let some of the checkpoints go. So you can see, one thing I did not address is that you can step on the snakes' bodies without actually getting killed. To get killed, you have to step on the head. One thing I will note is that you can see quite a few examples where how fast or how slow I finished through a level did influence the turtle cycles, and you saw a bad example of it in level 1-5. We'll see if I get a good example here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And this is another level where a lot can go wrong if you miss input, and there's, you know, great examples of it on this particular level here. So we're just going to go for the second fastest available strat. Yes, I did. Okay, there we go. And I barely got the cycle to work there. So that's World 1. Pretty intense. Very difficult. I'm actually going to purposefully go for a checkpoint here. It's not too far out of the way. So if anything goes severely wrong in the next 2 levels, we got some place that we can know that we're able to go back from. So that's the first example of what I would call a Simon Says section. You'll see 3 of those. So you saw me go for a safer strat. You can actually go a little bit further to the you can go a little bit further to the left side and get a cycle that is about, I'd say, half a second to a second faster. Unfortunately, I did make a few uncharacteristic mistakes on this level. Fortunately, I was wise enough to grab the checkpoint, and that goes into the discussion of strategic game overs. You notice you're making mistakes. Just want to set up like checkpoints in a marathon run setting so that you go for the game over, get it done with as quick as possible. so that you can just move on with the run. And that's another example of what you just saw, where Frogger kind of just rotated. It looks like rotating was an example of micro-hopping. The game is a bit broken in the sense that sometimes the game will think, okay, Frogger is here, but Frogger is actually on the other tile. And so it looks really weird, but sometimes Frogger will be half off a certain tile, and you'll just kind of, like, fall off sometimes because the game is just like, actually, you're dead, so it can feel arbitrary, and it can lead to a lot of unexpected deaths. You saw a perfect example of how it worked out weirdly in my favor. Here's another difficult strat coming up here. We'll see if I hit it. And that is what I like to call the reverse conveyor belt. It's not easy, but I certainly made it look pretty effortless. It's not that easy. It's pretty challenging to learn. And hopefully we'll get good fish RNG. Please, let's see how that works out. Okay, so that was alright. Fish RNG impacts how we're able to get through this first very difficult and fast section of the run. Coming up right on another one, which is right here. You have to just be ready to move on the fly. And all of that can be done reasonably so long as the fish do not break things out. Alright, so this section here, there's a lot of YOLO steps that can be taken. In other instances, you just want to be ready to play it safe. I decided to play it safe there. Even though there was a bit of delay in the fish, you can die. You can see the fish are just ready to take you at any point. I'm just going to wait it out there, and knowing I had enough time to make it there. And I'm going to go for this YOLO cycle. It looks cool when I hit it, and if I don't hit it, it's alright. It's not the end of the world. It's very stylish if I hit it. Here's another one. This one's a little easier than the last one. I'm going to go for this one. Yo, not bad. There's a reason I'm giving a 20-minute estimate. It's because while I'm doing pretty well in this run, there can be a lot of mistakes that incur here. You got to see a perfect example of how everything can go severely wrong. Alright, let's just hop into the here. So, we're going to play it safe here. This would be a perfect place to read donations off, since I'm just going to avoid dying. Now, you can see there are certain places where you're safe, and you're just able to, for the bats to cross by you. They have a zigzag pattern where sometimes you'll be in their area, and other times you'll know that you're not. Safe strats only loses about 5 or so seconds. We can just kind of take our time to get from each tile to tile, and then move on to the next world. Now here I could just have some donation readings as well. I'll explain a few more donation areas that could be read. Okay, not quite able to make it work that time. I'm just gonna go back the normal way. It's unfortunate we weren't able to get the fast enough cycle there. I'll try to show what it looks like normally. That one's not easy. You can just die off without, like, much of a say in the matter. Okay, I'll play it safe here as well. Still looks not easy to hit, which is true. Not easy. I have only ever hit that cycle a few times, so what I was going for is a very difficult strat. It's the what's considered an IL World Record strat, and I like to show it off in the submission just to see if I hit something super crazy. but usually it doesn't happen. So we'll play pretty safe there. It's that, like, sort of like trying to show some level of skill while still being entertaining enough. Alright, so we're moving on to the next point. I'm going to take an intentional game over here. So we're going to go for a fast cycle once, and then after that, if we don't hit it, we'll play it safe. There we go. So that's a pretty cool cycle. I could have hit that log at the end, but since I made it this far, I'm going to just kind of let it go away. You know, it only gains us about an extra half a second. It's not worth going for if you're on this sort of a pace. Unless I was on world record pace, I would not be going for it in the middle of a world record. In the middle of a marathon, that is. This is another level where you could do a donation segment. And the first half of this level as well. Then I'd have to explain kind of what's going on here. So, as long as you are able to keep up with a certain set of fire cycles, which is pretty reasonable, you can do this every time. Yep. That cycle's done. On those very set of maneuvers that I pulled off, it works pretty much every time. If you don't make any mistakes, you can get it without fail. This cycle is a lot more challenging. I'll just say that much. And I'll let it explain itself. We're gonna just purposely take a life there so we can speed our way up to the checkpoint, and we're done with that world. So, there is not much to say about this world. It is just a lot of make the cycles. The cycles are surprisingly forgiving, but in world record pace, it's really the nerves. So this is actually a bit of a briefer for me before we get to the last two levels. First two levels are pretty cut and dry, unless you misstep like I did. So, guess I was wrong about that much. It happens. Mistakes do happen. Alright. There we go. That's a little better. If I was feeling like I needed a 1-up, I would grab that one. Because the fast cycle is just not intuitive for an actual marathon. This is another, pretty much like if you get it right without misinputting, it's pretty much fine every single time. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. The last two levels are anything but straightforward, and you'll see especially how difficult the very last level was. So this one, you have to make sure you hop in the right sequence based on where Frogger's position is on the minecart, and then just hope that you don't get half stepped onto the railway below it. Because if you do, you're losing a lot of time. Eventually a game over. So, be ready for that. And I barely got it that time. Unfortunately, I did not grab the spider. I kind of just paused a little bit too long, and so I was there. I just ended up waiting too long. Fortunately, gaming is very forgiving, so if you get something wrong, you can just kind of wait it out and still make it across. It's just a time loss of around 15 to 30 seconds. Since this is a marathon, we'll go for the checkpoint here, because this level is absolutely brutal. So I actually made a mistake I do not normally make on attempts. Another one on top of that. I'm not actually sure what to do here. Normally I'd be on, like, en route for another, like, cycle to work out. Oh no, I forgot, I have no lives. I have no 1-ups. So if I actually lose here, I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself to do the level all over again. Without even having to say a word, I got to show just how difficult this particular section of the game is. This last level is truly a gauntlet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go, that's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna play it safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Yep, we're gonna wait it out. And you can see why I was playing it very carefully. Time's coming up. So there you go. That's an any percent run of Frogger 2 for the Game Boy Color. Any percent. And I got it under 15 minutes, even though there were quite a few mistakes that were made. Again, the game is pretty brutal, and it's very possible things could go way more haywire than this, so that's why I want to, like, give myself that full, like, that 20-minute estimate, because, you know, mistakes can be way more costly than this. By having a few commentators to help out with the run, the possibility of me making as many mistakes will be lowered, so I can leave all the information and sort of just the cool perks of this game and speed running up to them to talk a little bit about. I can talk a little bit, but it'll only really be at the beginning, at certain places where it's good to have donation reads, just kind of doing special thanks and everything else in between. So I guess speaking of donation reads, places where it'd be good to read donations, I think, for this game would be in World 1. There's not really good places to do any donation readings. That one's just kind of like fly through all the explanations. World 2 is where you can start having donation made. Perfect places would be level 2-2, level 2-4, and level 2-6 would be great places for reading like 1 or 2 donations, maybe even more than that, depending on which level it is. I think 2-6 you could get away with quite a few donations. On World 3, you could get donations read on 3-3 and 3-7. Taking safer strats there. Another place in the next world for donation reads, I'd say level 4-3, level 4-5, and yeah, that would be it. And then the first 2 levels of World 5 would also be good donation sections, so it's a short run, depending on how many mistakes are made, and depending on how much improv has to be done. It's not too terribly lengthy, so have a pretty quick demonstration of some of the cool tricks, and also just seeing what adaptations are required to get through a top-down adventure platformer like this. So I'll show off a few more tricks, and then I'm just going to thank the panel looking through SGDQ 2023 submissions for your consideration of this run. Wrap up things by having a recent run shown off, as well as the world record run as well. And then I'll actually link to the AGDQ 2023 submission if there's other information you wanted to glean off of this. So yeah. Once again, thank you everybody for your consideration. I'll show off a last few tricks that I didn't get the chance to show off in their fullest. Perfect examples of such would be, let's see, I'll show off 1-1. Oh, I did miss at that time. It's a brutal strat. There we go. Got it this time. And at its fastest, it can be done in about 7 seconds flat. I think the current world record is on an even faster Currently 6.9, I believe. It's not that, it's 7 flats. That's one of the tricks I did not get to show off. Let's see. Anything else? I did get to show off 1-4, 1-5, I think went off without a hitch, and if I didn't get the chance to show it then, it should be in one of my previous runs. I'll show it off anyways. Oh yeah, that's right. I got a bad turtle cycle in the submission run, so it's a good thing I got to show it off. This was only about 0.3 slower than the current IL world record, so again, if people wanted to see IL world records after the run, there could be a incentive for that as well, just to show off even faster strats. That way I can sort of frame this run in a bit of a safer style to show off some cool tricks in the any percent run, and then also show off some of the more insane stuff after the run is over, which, you know, if that were so to be the case, maybe I could even have like an extra an extra 5 to 10 minute slot for an IL level exhibition, individual level exhibition afterwards. That could be like a sort of extra incentive. You'll get to see some more fast strats already through the runs. I'll have those sort of outlined in the rest of this submission video. You'll see some fast strats pulled off on certain levels and others. I'll have links to each of the individual levels outlined below in the YouTube description. So, thank you everybody for watching, and enjoy the rest of what's about to be shown. Round 1 went well. We'll see about round 2. We won't get the chance. At least not this one. The next one has an opportunity. Okay. Good stuff so far. As of right now, I'm just kind of trying to see if I can get past World 2, because now that's just my focus. Can't really think about world record pace until I get to World 3. Good stuff so far. Trial 1. Let's see how we do here. We've only been to Trial 2 once so far. And it's all going to come down to how do I perform here. And, of course, the rest of World 2. Should be enough time delays. That was good. That worked out nicely. I'm glad I made one pause at the end of 1-5. That was very intentional, and it worked out nicely. Oh, weird. Bit weird. Still ahead, though, so I'm not doing awfully. Doing well enough. Okay. The menuing hasn't been the greatest aspect of today. However, the Morty tiles is of greater concern. Those levels have been a lot more troublesome today for some reason. Alright, round 2 has been pretty notorious today, to say the least. There we go, that's better. Alright. We still got one more round. Alright. Still got 3 or 4 flats, so it's just a relief to finally get back here again. The delays are concerning me, though. Still do not feel comfortable with those. Okay, that's better. We're still far from being out of the woods. That's fine. Okay. Fish was kind today, and that's a good thing. It was even kind there. Could have decided to axe me right after getting past World 2 for the first time today. Alright, we still got Run Killer before I can start feeling anything. Alright, we're up to the Run Killer. Let's see what happens. What happens today? Maybe. Okay, nice. Even better. Going for it all? Okay. Okay. That's too early. Oh! What am I kidding? What do I know about this game? Alright, we're at Trial 3. Alright. I got so lucky there, man. Okay. Okay, we'll see how we do here. Very nice. Good pace so far. It's good to be back here again. That was worth the risk. I wanted to go for it, just to keep the adrenaline on high. Okay. We are on fire today, man. Moment of truth. Draw 4. Yes. There we go. Okay. No time wasted right now? Alright. Just gotta do the thing. There we go. Let's see what we can do. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. That was excellent. That's what I really needed, man. Alright. Excellent. Right. Okay. Two more levels. They're not easy by any means. We are not done. We are far from being finished. Yes. That's it. Oh my gosh. We did it, man. Oh, it has been a long time waiting for this one. It has been a long time waiting for this one. Okay, well, I got my first wish. Heck yeah, that's a new world record, boys. Alright, well, I'm gonna be done with Frogger runs for the rest of this year. I have brought this so far. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I need to celebrate just a little bit. I got a new world record. 12:03:81. Progress soon. I'm 3 seconds away from the sub 12. That's under 12 minutes. Yeah, I'm beating the game under 12 minutes. Thanks. You do gotta tell me one more piece. Thank you. Oh my goodness. It finally paid off. I thought I was gonna killed off somewhere in World 3. I didn't think I was gonna do that so quickly too. What a turn of events that was. I managed it. I didn't even let the nerves get me on the last world, because sometimes it just does, and I don't get any practice, and I'm just cold in that sort of area. But man, oh man, that's gonna be a tough one to beat. That's a great run. I really think that went very well. Gosh, that's quite the thing. That's quite the thing I just did there. All right. At this point, I'm just gonna have to start looking next year in January for some serious strats for some other levels, or at least try to see if there's some possibility that I can get an even faster cycle in 3.7, because that's really gonna be the only place left where I can save any substantial time. Either way, I could have never imagined myself getting this far. I could have never imagined myself getting this far. Whoa! Holy moly! I got it! Oh my gosh, I actually got the task strat. Yo! Let's go! I got the task strat! I don't even care that I'm gonna get the world record anytime soon. I got the test strat! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got the task strat. That's 15 seconds faster than the previous IL world record I had for that. It's 14 to 15 seconds faster. You have no clue how big of a deal this is. You know, honestly, knowing everything that I have done, that just might be the methodology to get the sub 12. It might not even matter. I don't think I even have to go for... Oh, baby. That's a new world record there. New IL world record, by the way. Huh. 2 full seconds? 2 full seconds right there? Dude, if that's how much time I'm saving there, I think it's gonna be worth going for now. I got an optimized 2. I got a newly optimized 2.1. That was absurd. Okay.
it is! That was so fast! Oh my gosh, I pretty much got the test strat for that level too. Oh my gosh. I think I can go a little bit faster, actually. Let me look at the task video. Cool Kirby's task videos. Gotta have a better method for that, doesn't it? First off, that if I could hit any of those like strats, I'd have to slow down screen transitions just a little bit. Unless I wanted to go like sicko mode and go the whole way.
I just I beat the IL world record by .01 just there. I think. Pretty sure that was a by a .01 sort of situation, so cool. Now, just kind of running things down and, well, found a faster way, I guess. Oh, yes, another IL world record. That one's even faster. So, I think... I don't know how much faster it is, but... it's not that difficult, and I'm losing a lot of runs as is already, so I could probably just go for it. If it's consistent, of course.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah. Yo, that's almost another task strat. Oh man, 3 task strats in one day? Are you serious? Are you serious? No kidding. Like, none of those are practical towards real-time runs whatsoever. I still got them anyway. Yeah, no, that one is much harder to hit. There we go, another IL world record. That's 5 or 6 in one day. That's like nearly... it's at least 1/8 of the stages, if not more. Is it consistent? Can I pull it off easily? Maybe? And I broke the IL world record again.